So my buddy Floyd here, he's going to help me do a couple things that are really critical. One, I put a shirt on him so that I could set the white balance to match the shirt that I'm wearing. And notice I'm not wearing a shirt that's got a lot of patterns, because you get what's called moire, and it's pretty unsightly. Also, I set Floyd's height to the same height as myself, so that when I'm composing the shot, that I don't actually chop the top of my head off. Another thing that Floyd's really good about is being able to focus. So I can, zoom in on different parts and focus on Floyd, and I can set the focus. So setting the white balance, the focus, and composition, which are all pretty critical to getting a good shot, really help out. I can also see where the shadows are. So for example, right now, what you probably can't see is that I have a fluorescent light down here, and then I have a clamp light down below that. And so what I'm trying to do is eliminate the shadows. As you can see, the closer I get to the white background, the more shadows created. Also, another way to eliminate the shadow is, instead of being really close to the background, you can stand away from the background. So these are all things that really help to, as you can see when Floyd's in the picture here, that you can identify when you're behind the camera any issues that you might have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this light off down below, and this is just a clamp light with a CFL bulb in it, and you can you may not be able to see that, but basically it increased the shadow behind Floyd's head here. I've also got a fluorescent light, a homemade light that I made, that I'm going to show you how to create yourself. And these are all just really great tools. This is just a light stand. It's a $20 light stand. Here, I'll remove Floyd. And it's a really cheap light stand. I was really disappointed in it at first when I got it, but then when I discovered what I could do with it, I was like, wow, this is exactly what I need. It's got a very small footprint, so it's really tiny. And as you can see here, as I pull it up, there's the clamp light there, and then this is a really inexpensive fixture I got at Home Depot. And essentially what I did is I took a jigsaw, I cut a hole in it, I wrapped it with tape, took a couple of pop rivets, and this is the actual crossbar that comes with most lighting fixtures, and then I just unscrewed this and screwed it right back into the light stand. So for $24 you can create your own ring light, which is really, really nice. I actually built this for my DSLR camera, so you could just stick the lens right in there, and you could do the same thing with your phone as well. So it really helps to flatten out the image of people's faces, and really creates a nice light. But as you can see here, if I turn this sideways, notice how dark it gets, and it turns probably more of a gray color than a white color. So having your subject backlit really goes a long ways. As you can see, I'm pretty much covering the light stand and the light. You can't really tell that there's a light behind me, other than there's a nice glow behind me. It also helps to separate you from the background. So with the intermediate setup, what we want to focus on is, of course, lighting and a background that's a nice, clean background. White's a little trickier. You have to have a lot more light with white, and that's kind of good to remember, whereas gray is a little more forgiving to work with. So I've also got a LED up above, and you'll be able to see that with my other camera, my camera 2. And I've got a ring light. That's a kind of an intermediate advanced piece of equipment. What I should probably do is turn that off so you can get an idea of what that looks like. So this is without that light. Now I still have my hair light up here, which is my small LED light. The ring lights are about $125, so I want to flip that back on. And I just really like them. And I bought the light stand for this at the same time I bought that one. So I had two light stands. So I've got one behind me and one in front of me. And those two lights do a really, really good job. And then the hair light up here, and it's a little bit on the dim side, but you can see here's without the hair light. And then as I turn this on, the batteries are pretty close to being dead. You can see what happens and how it lights my face up. So those are some tips and tricks about lighting. Again, if you've got Floyd or Francis to work with, or a friend to stand in front of a background. Most people aren't very patient and don't want to do that. But if you do have somebody to stand there for you, it's really, really important. Not so much focus on them, it's focusing on what's going around them. Their clothing and how they're lit. as well as the background that you're working with.